What is good, everyone? Ben Deal down here in Houston, Texas. Welcome to the Expand Podcast. I am incredibly excited for our guest today. Have the legend Ricky Carruth in the building with us today. If you do not know Ricky, all you have to do is go Google his name, plug him into any social media platform. You will find he is one of the most followed people in the real estate world. He's an influencer. More importantly, he's a guy that has done the do. He has done the business, closed over 100 deals a year for 8 years straight as an independent agent, went on to create wealth in real estate. He's investing in real estate. He's leading an incredible real estate team, branching out, building businesses through and through entrepreneur. Ricky, welcome to the show.
What is up, bro? How you doing, man? You're all fired up and stuff, I see.
You get me all fired up, man. Just anytime I get to talk to people that have created incredible success in their life and their business, always excited to talk with you and people like yourself. So yeah, I'm just excited. Thank you in advance for coming down to Houston for this event, June 20th, for Expand. For those people that don't know you, do you want to give them kind of a quick little background on who you are, where you came from, and kind of lead up to where you are today?
Yeah, man. So I got in real estate in 2002. I was 20 years old. I'm down here in Gulf Shores, Alabama, which is right on the Florida line. Beautiful beaches. You've been here. And yeah, I grew up roofing houses. I got into real estate, and I didn't really know real estate was going to be a passion of mine, but it was. And I just love the grind of the business. It's a hustler's game, and not everybody can really digest and stomach how hard the business really is to kind of get going. But man, is it beautiful once you get the momentum and you kind of get the win in your sales there and build your pipeline and build your book of business and build a name locally. People know you and want to do business with you. You're not going to win everybody, right? And you can't really control the market. So I lost everything. And when the market crashed, I made a ton of money. And then when I came back in the business, I didn't even know I was going to come back in the business, but that's what happened. That was my destiny or whatever. And I got back in 2008, coincidentally, when everything really went down. But that was a really easy time to sell real estate. Prices were 50% less, and they were still beautiful properties. So it was a super time to sell real estate, and that's how I kind of got back in the game, selling really cheap, distressed properties and stuff. And I kind of built my business differently the second time around. I built it on people. I built it on developing lifelong relationships as opposed to, just trying to get deals done, which is what I did the first time around. And dude, then I just built this snowball, this massive snowball of people that want to do business with me and continue to grow. And by 2014, I was doing 100 deals a year. I was the number one Remax agent in Alabama. I did that for 8 years in a row. After that, and I was the number one agent in my entire MLS all those 8 years. So it was a grind, and I'm not going to lie about it, but so rewarding because by 2017, I was doing $1 million a year in GCI. That was always the goal of my life, to hit that. And then when I hit that, I kind of got bored with with real estate. So I started speaking, writing, coaching, and trying to help other agents through the struggle. So, and that leads us to where we are today. I'm still selling, I'm still coaching, I'm still helping, and I'm still grinding. So that brings us to where we are on this podcast.
No, that's awesome, man. And so, just going back to when you started, like, did you ever have the typical, like, go to school corporate job line? Was that ever part of your, thought process as you started your career? Or were you always like, I'm going to do something different? You found real estate and then you were off and running. Like, was there anything that came up for you in that, and kind of in that normal process and lane?
Yeah, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I got a full paid scholarship to play football in Missouri Valley, and I didn't know what I wanted to study. I just picked a business. I started doing the basics classes, and I ended up leaving there, going to Faulkner State Community College, on the University of Alabama, failing a history class, and getting my real estate license at Shelton State. And the whole time I was in college, I was just kind of like lost as far as like what I really wanted to do. Yes, I was like, okay, I'm gonna crush college. I'm gonna get a degree. I'm gonna go off and do some, awesome job. But it wasn't in the cards for me to do that. And and after a while, especially when I failed that history class, I was like, man, my parents were paying so much money to go to college at that point, and I just felt like I was just going backwards, honestly. And real estate was one class, get my license, and I'm off to work. And I literally have the same opportunities as doctors, lawyers, and some of these other occupations that take 8 to 10 years worth of school. I had the same opportunity by taking one class. So, I'm just, I can't say I'm the smartest guy or that I've picked the most efficient ways to do things or that I've jumped on certain things. Because I mean, I should have got on social media a lot earlier. I should have invested into stocks a lot earlier. I should have done a lot of things a lot earlier. Definitely not the smartest or the quickest. However, when I do see something that seems like an opportunity, I don't hesitate. And getting my real estate license was one of those opportunities. So I just felt like, okay, here's an opportunity to literally skip college, have the same opportunity as people who have a degree, and let's go out here and see what I can do in the real world. College was just getting boring to me. That's why I felt that history class. I was just bored.
Mhm. Yeah, gotcha. And I think and I know you've worked and impacted, tens of thousands of agents with your Zero to Diamond training program and everything that you're trying to do with like really a bigger calling of helping reduce the failure rate in real estate. When people get into real estate, a lot of times they're super excited and then they realize that it is a grind and that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. When did you kind of have that realization that you're excited, you got licensed, you're off and running, had all the opportunity, and then when did you realize it was really going to be this long-term, longer run game and grind, that you even say you're still in right now?
Yeah, like when I got my license, I thought, okay, I'm done. Like I was roofing houses with my dad. And I was like, I'm retired, Dad, from roofing. I'm gone. I got my real estate license now. I'm gonna go be an agent. So I worked in the office full time, 8 hours a day, really more than 8 hours a day for 30 days, and I sold absolutely zero. And I went back to Dad and I was like, dude, okay, I'm back. I'm back on the roof. So, the first thought was, I'm gonna go crush it right now. I'm gonna go sell stuff tomorrow. Just doesn't happen like that for most people. Some people get lucky, some people have this or that happen, and that's great, but it's also dangerous because when you do a quick deal, you kind of have a misconception of what this really is. I know a lot of agents who sold properties pretty quick that ended up leaving the business within 8 to 10 to, 12 to 18 months because they kind of have that misconception. They never really grinded, because they just felt like things were going to fall in their lap like that first or second deal did. And it's really dangerous. I tell agents all the time that get a quick deal, like, be careful with that because you could have a complete misconception of what this really is and how much work you're really going to have to put in to build this business. But yeah, when I had to go back to the roof after that 30 days, that's when I kind of realized. And then I was roofing and doing real estate on the side. And that was 7 more months after that 30 days, 8 months to get to my first deal. And it was like through that 8 months, whoa, I mean, it was very grindy. I mean, I remember being in the office making calls and telling my broker, because I would have like a possible $300,000 deal happening, and I would tell my broker, I would ask him questions about it, and then I would say, I wish we were talking about $500,000, $600,000. He's like, it'll come, it'll come. I just remember the feeling, man, of like being in the office, not having anything under contract for months and months and months, really wanting it so bad. So yeah. And then when I saw my first deal, I had two that closed on the same day. And then I just started closing two a month. All that work for those 8 months started to pay off. And the seeds that I was planting started to bloom, started to come to fruition. And I started closing two a month, two a month, two a month. Did that for a while, and it was great. So I was able to get off the roof. going to real estate full time. I was closing to a month. Then I started closing like 3 or 4 a month. Then the market really started taking a turn in 2005. That's when things really turned in my market and things really started going downhill quick. And I had bought a lot of properties. I was flipping houses. I got caught up in the flipping game during those years, and I had a lot of money invested and lost everything because of it. If I would have taken the money I made and bought long-term rentals or, S&P 500 or income producing properties and stuff, I'd have been fine, honestly. But I didn't. I went out there, I borrowed money, I leveraged to make a quick buck and flip some houses, and I made a lot of money really fast doing that. However, all it takes is the house of cards to fall, and fall it did. And it's funny because I got caught up in literally the only time in the last 100 years that real estate prices took a dump. Like the only time that prices ever went down considerably was the moment that I was happened to be flipping houses like a madman. But you know, I went bankrupt. I was sleeping in my car. I was eating out of people's refrigerators. I was sleeping on people's couches. I got a job on an oil rig. I was living there every other week in Mississippi. That time in my life, man, I think back on it and um I was at the time even super grateful for that moment because I knew that the lessons I was learning right then in my mid 20s was going to carry me through the rest of my life. I didn't know that the real estate market, like, I didn't realize that prices never went down in real estate. You know what I mean? Like, except for '08. Well, until I really started doing some research and stuff. And you look at the market now, and all these people calling for a crash. The only reason they're calling for a crash is because they missed the crash. They didn't predict the 2008 crash, and they don't want to be wrong again. They want to be known for the person that predicted the big crash. And it's like we're down to almost 2008 levels transaction wise right now. We're on track to do 4.2 million transactions. We did 4.1 million in 2008, which was the worst year for transactions in the country. We're literally there right now. It's like, can't you guys take that as a W and say that's the crash I was talking about? What they're just so focused on home prices going down. Home prices have been going up for 4 months now. We're mid-June. Prices, there's a Zillow report that just came out that said we're up May over May, year over year, 0.9%, basically 1% up year over year, up 1.4% April to May. Sales were up 10%. It's amazing what's happening in the market. It's amazing the resilience. But what's funny is that you think mortgage rates are going to deter buyers, right? It's not what's happening. It's deterring sellers from selling. You think mortgage rates are going to like slow the buyers down, and it is slowing some buyers down, but it's not slowing all the buyers down. But who it's really deterring is sellers. They don't want to sell their house that they're sitting on 4%, 3% rates and buy into a 6 or 7% house. However, what's even further interesting when you look at this, and I'm kind of a mad scientist when it comes to this, is the fact that we're at around the 7% range now. Well, guess what? This is going to be the opposite effect over the next few years, as the people who are buying now in the 7% range will now own a house at a 7% going into a market in the next couple of years that's around a 5% range. And it's going to be the opposite effect. They're going to be happy to sell their 7% home and upgrade to a 5% interest home that's going to be a nicer house than they're now. So this will reverse. It's not going to reverse as quickly as people want and as hard as people want. Another interesting take on the current market is affordability. Everybody's crying about affordability and everything. And if you look at affordability and I'll share this at the event, when you look at affordability on an adjusted for inflation, If you look at mortgage payments going back to the 80s, adjusted for inflation, right? You see that literally we're like, you know, right now we're at 7% interest, and that's expected to get below 6 by the end of the year. I mean, that's gonna knock $400 off the payment. Payments are a little under $1,800 now on a typical mortgage. That's gonna put us around 1,400. In '89, adjusted for inflation, we were at $1,700 a month in '89, adjusted for inflation. The problem is that we've been spoiled. We've been spoiled for the last decade. We didn't realize how good we had it. We never had a moment where rates were the lowest in history and prices dropped 50% ever, 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 ever. And it created this affordability that was just amazing. And we didn't even realize it. We just took it for granted for so long. And now what's happening, if you look at a chart, all we're doing is getting back to normal, what we were before 2008. You know how like the market is trying to settle out to where we're getting back to normal pre-pandemic levels? Well, that's what affordability is doing, except for it's getting back to pre-2008 levels, like in the 90s and early 2000s. Our job is just to go out there and help people buy and sell, and
Yeah. And so with all of that information, I love all the content that you share on all the social media platforms, especially your market takes are always so good. Where are you seeing the biggest opportunity in the market today?
I mean, for agents or investors or home
I mean,
buyers or
if you want to talk
sellers or
about
what?
both, I think for agents and then also for investors, what do you see as the biggest opportunity?
Well, for agents, we need to be stacking our inventory. You can do that really easily right now. There's a lot of sellers that want a little too much for their home. List those properties and stack those properties up because prices are going up. The market will catch up. Um, talk to absentee owners, people that don't live in the property that sell. Talk to for sale by owners, people that raise their hand and said, I'll sell. Talk to expireds, new ex I just think just staying busy, man. Like all the agents out there that were being handed leads, like from Zillow or their team leader or their sphere and all that's dried up.
Mhm.
All that's dried up. If you're getting deals just handed to you, then you're just sitting around saying, "Oh, business is slow." Right now you got to be on the phone. And if when I'm on the phone and I make live calls and stuff, like I'm picking up deals. I'm picking up business every single time I pick up the phone. It's crazy. Like I'd be closing deals every single day if I were like 100% into production right now.
Mhm.
Um, so that's the deal with agents. With investors, you need to be buying. Like prices are going up. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter to me if it's commercial, residential. Commercial's taking a hit. There's going to be some deals, come through the cracks over the next year or two. Look for those deals and stack them. That's what I'm doing. On the flip side, I'm buying single family homes left and right. I'm 3 new constructions right now. We just did a walkthrough this morning, closing on it tomorrow. Another one in a couple weeks. Another one in September. We just closed on an older house built in 2000. These are all 250 to 350 homes that we can rent and get incredible cash. So rent's going to keep going up. Prices are going to keep going up. They're not going to go up as fast as they were. There's a NAR report, National Association of Realtors, that just hit that where they say, sales are going to be down about 9% this year, bounce back 15% next year. And they say prices will be down 1.8% this year. But guess what? They said home prices, get this, existing home sales are going to bounce back 28%. Prices next year, right? Next year, 28%. bounce back on prices next year. What a prediction. That's a hell of a prediction. I mean, that's published on their website. You know what I mean?
Wow.
That's not just some dude talking. That's like the National Association of Realtors, who, let's keep it real, predictions are never come true, right? They never come true. But for them to predict that, now I've been calling for double-digit price appreciation this year. That's what I've been calling for this year's double digit, and we'll see. According to Redfin, we're up like 9%, so we're only like 1% away from that from January 1st to now. Zillow's report said we're up 3.4% from the January bottom. Um, so it depends on who you're talking to, but um, the subdivisions we bought DR Horton Homes in, like they've already went up on their prices in those subdivisions, like 12,000 bucks. It's crazy. So listen, I'm gonna put 50,000 in a house. I'm gonna get back a 4,000 a year. Okay. 8% return. When rent goes up, I'm gonna be looking at more of a 12% return. If we refinance from the 6.9 we have now to the 5.5 later, our return on cash is going to be even better. We're probably going to be getting closer to 15 to 20%. Then you've got rent continuing to go up, over those next 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Then you've got appreciation happening. Then you've got that debt paying itself off. I mean, bro, I'm like, how many of these homes can we buy? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think it's an incredible market for everybody. Sellers are getting a great price. Buyers are buying into a market where things are going to continue to get better. Investors, there are cash flowing properties out there. And I'm in Alabama, so I'm getting a house for, 325, 4-bedroom, brand new on a lake. I can rent it out for 2,300 a month, and the payment with everything is going to be around 1,700. I mean, come on, bro. I can refinance this house later at tomorrow's interest rates, but I can't buy them at today's prices. I can't even buy these houses at the price I got them at now. They've already went up 12,000 bucks. I can't even buy this house at the same price I bought it for now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm excited about these houses that we're buying. I'm excited about the real estate market for agents. I'm excited about everything, man. Everything.
Yeah, no, it's so good. And one of the stories when I came out to your workshop that you shared, people that have been in real estate in the production business, doing it till the very end and not investing in real
Yeah.
estate. So can you talk a little bit about that? Because I know and I appreciate everything you just shared about investing. Why is it important for agents to take advantage of the opportunity to invest right now? Especially with the perspective and some of the stories that you've shared that I've heard you share about some of the lifers that have been in real estate and never set themselves free.
Yeah, I mean, like I need to find out what the statistic is of agents who actually own investment property, own real estate.
Hmm.
I'm sure it's really low. A lot of agents don't own real estate investment properties. A lot of them do, but I think most of them don't. It's probably over 50%, I would imagine. But anyway, it's crazy because you're selling real estate. Why don't you own some of this stuff if you believe in it so much? So I'm not being too hard on people because I know it's expensive to buy real estate as well, and you have to kind of build up to that. So I get it. I didn't own real estate in the beginning, and then when I started flipping houses and stuff, that was one thing. But that was another thing I learned through the crash was not only does real estate need to be about people, but also need to be investing for the long term, not for the quick buck.
Hmm.
Right. And so now, like, these properties we're buying I own commercial properties, duplexes, fourplexes, single family, and I'm looking at all kinds of apartment complexes all over the country. We got one in Phoenix we're looking hard at. We have a couple in Texas where you are, down in Florida and Georgia and North Carolina. Like, we're real close on some of these, like, getting there to buy these things. And, I don't really plan on ever selling any of this stuff. Like, I might sell some here and there, but it's owning the assets, man. They're always going to appreciate. And inflation has a lot to do with that. the value of a dollar now is not going to be the value of a dollar in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Uh, a lot. I mean, even if these prices never appreciated at all in value, still makes them worth more because the value of a dollar is worth less. And you've got an asset that's not money. It's an asset, that people are willing to pay for. So just even if it stayed the same price, I was telling my buddy we're buying that house together. Like, you know, I think in 20 years that house is we're buying it for 325. I think in 20 years it's worth 600.
Mhm.
Not because, and he's like, wow. I'm like, well, but 600 in 20 years is not 600 today. The people making 20 bucks an hour today are going to be making 30 bucks an hour in 20 years, and they're going to be able to afford a $600,000 house, unlike they can do now. Right? It's just the way the world works. And understanding the economics behind it gives you a sense of comfort behind, investing. But yeah, like I've known a lot of agents that work till the day they die, calling for sale by owners and expireds, and that was nothing I ever wanted to do. I
Yep.
wanted to build businesses and step out of production as soon as I could once I made it. So it took me 15 years to get to 1 million a year. As soon as I got to 1 million a year, I started building other businesses, and I stayed in production as long as I could until the point that my businesses kind of overtook the production side of things. And that's what everybody should want, you know. Um, I
Yeah.
mean, I could literally like hang it up and not do this podcast, any events, buy any more property, sell any more, nothing. I could just go to sleep, sleep all day, work out, retire, enjoy, and see you guys, whenever. I could do that, you know. And that's the beauty of it now, right? If you're to that point and you've grinded so hard and you got to that point in life that you have that option, it's a beautiful thing. And then when you have that option and you still choose to grind it out like I'm doing, it's fun, right? It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's encouraging. That's exciting to hear. And with the business and growth that you're having, what part of your business are you most excited about expanding, the expansion opportunity? Is there any one place in particular you're really fired up about?
Um, I think just continuing to build a brand, but as far as the businesses go, the investment business, I'm just really excited about, the prospects of these real estate properties. My stock portfolio has done really well. So it took a hit, during this downturn, but it's really bounced back, really incredible. Building the brokerage, excited about what that looks like. There's a lot of cool things happening there behind the scenes, on the brokerage side that's going to be really exciting. So yeah, all these little things just kind of keep me in the game.
That's right. And yeah, and just as we close, you're coming down speaking at our Expand event June 20th here in Houston. What does Expand mean to you and why is it important?
Well, I guess what it means to me is just expanding yourself personally, you know, just getting out of your comfort zone and doing things that you need to do, and then getting that feeling of accomplishment, and kind of becoming addicted to the hard work and the results coming and stuff like that. That's expanding, like keeping your eyes open for the ways you can be more efficient with things and do more in less time. That's expanding. So, yeah, I'm excited, bro. I'm really excited to come down and see everybody and give a nice talk and give my take on the market and my opinions and thoughts and everything, and try to help some people get on the right track.
Yeah, no, and absolutely. And I just want to thank you too, because your mission to reduce the failure rate among real estate agents and professionals has impacted my life. It's been a blueprint that has been beautifully laid out that I share, with my team and people that are looking to get into real estate. So whether you see it or not, I know you hear from a lot of people, but personally for me, it's meant a lot for me, my life, my family. So I just wanted to thank you for that and just for your mission and your bigger calling, to go out and serve people. So Ricky, thank you so much. If anybody wants to reach out to you, follow you on social media, where can they track you down?
Instagram or YouTube, that's the best places. Just go there, links in bios. Shoot me a DM. I answer all my messages on Instagram and everything. So yeah, anything you can do to help you, anybody listening, I'm here for it.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks, man. We'll see you soon in Houston. We'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir.